What is up, everybody? Zach Sholey Sports. What's going on, you guys? I am not a happy camper. I am going to get right into it right away. So, I've been reading a lot, getting ready for the baseball season, getting really excited. The predictions came out from a few websites. Not very happy. Not very happy with it at all. The hometown squad comes up with a prediction of 77 wins. Not happening. Nope, not happening. If you've been following the Brewers the way that they've been going about their business and the way that they've been getting the weapons that they need to take that next step, get into the playoffs, maybe even better than a wild card, or at least reach the wild card, because as we know in baseball, just get in and anything can happen. I am very not happy with the way that the Brewers got the short end of the stick here. I mean, when you look at the pieces that they added Kristen Yelich. You're just not going to give up that many pieces that you already had and had such high hopes for, especially when Lewis Brinson goes to Miami, because everybody had so big of high hopes on Lewis Brinson. I mean, last year, everybody knew more about Lewis Brinson than they did pitchers on our starting rotation by the end of the year, which was insane. And the Brewers still had 86 wins. The Brewers went 86 and 76 last year, which means if you're telling me that they're going to win 77 games, that basically means 2/3 of their team basically had a career year. No, they didn't. They developed and they got better. Case in point, Travis Shaw. Now, if Travis Shaw regresses, I look like a major jackass for saying that, but I don't see it happening. He's too good of a hitter. And I don't see it happening either with the other 2/3 of the team. The team played well. Team played very well. I'm excited for the season. I'm excited for what they've done so far. They've acquired some major arms. You got Boone Logan. You got some veterans that have played in some big games. Boone Logan, they just acquired Matt Albers. These are some big name players that have played in big-time games. Cleveland Indians have played in World Series. Matt Albers has played in the playoffs. God forbid that the Nationals ever get to the second round of the playoffs, but you get what I mean. We're bringing in these big arms that have played in big situations. Another case in point is Lorenzo Cain. He's played in 2 World Series. He's won one. He's lost one. He knows what it feels like to lose a World Series, and he knows what it's like to win one. And obviously, winning feels a lot better than losing. So I don't think Lorenzo Cain would have come to the Milwaukee Brewers if he didn't think that he can win a World Series in the 5-year window that he has created for himself. And I'm pretty sure Christian Yelich is feeling the same way. He's feeling pretty good about the way that this team played. I mean, did the Brewers overachieve? Maybe a little. I mean, look at what happened to the pitching staff. You didn't finish the season with Jimmy Nelson, who is your best pitcher. If he pitched possibly the rest of the season, he might have been somewhere in the top 5 in NL Cy Young Award voting. Who knows? He had 199 strikeouts when he got injured. What was the injury? I think he tore his labrum, but people are already saying that he's going to be back by June. Okay, throw him into the rotation. Okay, you got Jimmy Nelson, Chase Anderson, Zach Davies, Ulysses Chassin, with the 5 spot kind of an asterisk for a guy like a Brandon Woodruff possibly, or if you go out and get a Yu Darvish. But one of those people, like a Brandon Woodruff or a Brent Suter or a Giovanni Gallardo, who you also acquired, is going to be in that 5 spot for a little while, a few months of the season, until you get Jimmy Nelson back, even though he is going to be on a pitch count because of his shoulder. Okay, but you go out and you get these safety nets. You go out and you get Ulysses Chassin, so you don't lose all that firepower. You guys are going to play better than what I think these predictions are giving you. 77 wins. Very low watermark, especially for a team that won 86 games. I get that you overachieve, but you don't go out and get these pieces just so you can get a projection that is 9 games lower than what you did last year. It just makes no sense to me at all, unless these predictions came out like 2 seconds before the trade was made and the Lorenzo Cain deal was done, which still doesn't make any sense because you won 86 games before and you still did it all without a full pitching rotation. I mean, Chase Anderson, arguably the second best pitcher or maybe even the best pitcher on the rotation, was hurt for a quarter of the season, and you still won 86 games, and you still only missed the playoffs by 1 game. That makes no sense to me. This team is going to be good. It's going to have a lot of firepower. Christian Yelich, he's hit 39 home runs over 2 years, but he's playing at a massive ballpark. I'm predicting him to hit 25 home runs and have close to 100 RBIs this year. Lorenzo Cain, I'm expecting him to hit 20-plus home runs with probably anywhere from 50 to 75 RBIs because I see him possibly in the leadoff spot, in the 1 or 2 spot. These are going to be good acquisitions. They're going to get on base. Christian Yelich, a 290 career hitter. You have Lorenzo Cain, who batted 300 last year. You're going to have guys that are going to get on base. They're going to make things happen with their legs. You've got a lot of speed. You've got great defense in the outfield. At the end of games, the Brewers would have to bring in Keon Broxton to be a defensive player. You don't have to do that anymore because you have Lorenzo Cain. You have Lorenzo Cain and Christian Yelich, and they both have cannons for arms. So I don't think that everybody's giving the Brewers the proper due. And the only reason why I don't think they're giving them the proper due is because they haven't got that big arm yet. And by big arm, I mean not Ulysses Chassin. I don't mean Giovanni Gallardo. I mean a guy like Jake Arrieta. I mean a guy even like Lance Lynn. Just get another guy to fortify your bullpen, and I think you'll get, or not your bullpen, your starting rotation, and I think you'll start to get the respect. But don't overpay. You gotta do the right thing for the franchise. You gotta do the right thing for the future. I know how Mark Ananasio is. He likes to jump the gun a little bit. When the Brewers were going to make a run at the playoffs, it was supposed to be 2020. That was going to be it. But the Brewers won a lot more games last year than a lot of people thought. And now Mark Ananasio is opening up his wallet to David Stearns. Is David Stearns the one that's saying, hey, we can go for it? Or is it Mark Ananasio saying, go for it now, David, and win now and win often? Because with these moves, you basically gave yourself a 5-year window to win some games. Christian Yelich, he signed until 2023. You got a $1.5 million buyout after 2022. That's a good deal. Good deal. I like it, especially with how old he is. He's 26. He's basically signed all the way in through 31. Lorenzo Cain, he's older. You got him right now. He's 31. Going to be 36, 37 when his contract's up. But still overall a good player who can play some defense. He can do all this stuff. I think the big thing that's handicapping the Brewers right now is what in the world are you doing with Domingo Santana and a few of the other players? You got to move them to make the world kind of go round. I know these pitchers haven't fallen into place yet, but you got to think. I mean, tomorrow's February 1st. Spring training is a few weeks away, and these teams are going to want to get acclimated with their coaches, their pitching coaches, I'm sure a little bit before they're heading off to Arizona to go play at Maryville. The team is going to be good. Not worried about that. You have a great infield, Travis Shaw third, Orlando Arcia. I don't know who's going to play second base yet. Do we know who's going to play first base yet? I don't know. They're talking about Ryan Braun possibly playing part-time at first base. You have Eric Thames. You have Jesus Aguilar. Comment below. Who would you put at first base? Who would you put at first base? Between those three, Ryan Braun, Eric Thames, Jesus Aguilar. Preferably, I'd put Jesus Aguilar at first base. He seems more comfortable with the position. He hits well. He hits for power. He hits more consistently than a guy like Eric Thames. And Ryan Braun, you don't want to be teaching another guy how to play first base. First base isn't as easy as it looks. So I say get that completely out of your mind. I get Ryan Braun. He just wants to play as many games as he can. But Ryan Braun is like fine china. You break him out for, those big occasions. You hope he gets the clutch hit. But when it's not a big of a game, you're gonna keep that plate kind of, hidden away, tucked away so it doesn't get dusty type of thing. And when you do break them out, you just hope a kid doesn't get a hold of them because he's going to break it because they're so fragile. Ryan Braun played less than 110 games last year. You don't want to be relying on that. I mean, you have outfielders coming out of yours. I mean, Preferably, I would love to see Ryan Braun get traded, but I don't see that happening, especially with the moves that I've seen right now, especially because Ryan Braun's going to go, I'm going to win with the team that drafted me. Do you blame him? Not really. Is that the reason Lorenzo Cain came back to Milwaukee? Who knows? But I'm just not happy with the moves. Not happy with the projections of 77 wins. I'm not liking it. Like to see a little bit more respect out of the overall picture of the experts and the people that create these websites about the Brewers. I see the Brewers around 88 to 95 wins. Somewhere in that 7-game span is where I'm seeing it. I think that's pretty fair, especially if they land an arm like a Lance Lynn or something along those lines, Yu Darvish, Jake Arrieta. But who knows? I want to take a deeper dive into this. Obviously, spring training is coming around the corner, and I want to do an overall review of the offseason for each division of MLB. So if you want to hear more about that, subscribe to the channel, like the channel, share the channel. I'm trying to get this out as far as I can go. Also, I wanted to bring up before I let you guys all go is that I created a Facebook page, Sholey Sports. Go on there, like the page if you want to get more updates. I've been talking about what's a bigger impact, the Jabari Parker return, John Wall return on the fan page, Jabari Parker's return or John Wall's injury. Which one's going to have a bigger impact on the Eastern Conference? And now I guess you can throw Kevin Love into that. Does Kevin Love's injury impact the Cavs? I personally don't think so. They're still going to give up 125 points a game like they did to Detroit. So that's the way that I'm looking at that right now. So comment, subscribe. If I missed anything, like to talk to more Brewers, like to talk to more Bucks, like to talk to more Packers, but I would like to talk to more overall sports and get into some other teams. So if there's something that I missed, feel free to comment below. Until then, see you later, guys.